Today, Bala Garu is going to do chapter 20 of You Forever. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So we finished Akashic Records last week, last chapter. So this week, in this chapter 20, literally he's talking about how to relax our mind and get inner composure, tranquility. We need all these, and peace to get our, clairvoyance, telepathy, intuition. To acquire all these, he says, we had to have inner composure, tranquility, and peace. So most of this chapter, he talks about, how our brain works, all the time, agitates, and how even though there are signals, how we are not able to get the signals. That's what most of the topic, he is talking about. So here he says, soon we hope to deal with the telepathy, clairvoyance, and psychometry. But first, you had permit us to deal with another subject. He says, we have in mind, and often it pays for us to draw your attention to a subject, but he says, who want to be clairvoyant, who want to be telepathic and have psychometric abilities, we had to proceed slowly. That's what he's saying. And also he's comparing, if we don't do, things hastily, he's comparing plants who, the ones which are grown in the, greenhouse plants, and the ones which are grown naturally. So he says the greenhouse plants are not hardy and they fail prey to all sorts of remarkable ailments. And that is how, he says, if we are not careful, we fall into it. That's what he's saying. But basically, he says, for a real good psychometric to pick up an article, and how, he's saying how it, the real, if you have the ability of the psychometry, he says, if we pick up an article on the seashore, like a stone, okay, where it has not been touched by a human being, and to visualize quite clearly the time when the fragment of stone was perhaps embodied in a mountain. So he says, if we have that clear mind, if we pick up a stone near the beach, if nobody has touched that stone, he says, we can figure out by holding that stone, we can get, by having those vibrations, we can feel, it seems, from where it is coming, since how long it is there, something like that. If we have that tranquility, he says we can feel that. That's what the psychometry is saying. But for this, he says, inner composure and tranquility are the two cornerstones of our foundation. Unless one has inner composure, one will not have much success at telepathy or clairvoyance. Inner composure is a very definite must if one is going to progress beyond the most elementary stages. And he says, humans are indeed a mass of conflicting emotions. We know that. Always in our mind, always constantly, something or the other going on. We have so many conflicting emotions. So he says, our brains send off sparks of rage and frustration all the time. Often we will find ourselves growing hot. We will find that we are under tension. We have queer pressure within us. So he says, at such times, we feel that we could explode. So it will not help at all in the field of esoteric research if we have that. If one has such uncontrolled brain waves that one blanks out to the incoming signals. See, this is how we shut off the signals, even though they are there. He's saying, So if you have all this tension and pressure, and what happens, you might almost do, but in the field of esoteric research, that is the spiritual research, if one has such uncontrolled brain waves, one blanks out the incoming signals. So that intuition signals we don't receive. That's what he's saying. So he says, have you tried to listen to a radio during a thunderstorm? Have you tried to watch some television program while someone was parked just outside your window and your car, you are getting a car ignition, zigzag flashes through the screen? So, so that means even, the thunderstorms interfere, the signals, the static signals interferes in the radio, or also the thunderstorms, we know that it also interferes on our TV picture. So the static generated by an electric storm. So he says, we get hotter and hotter under the collar as we try to concentrate and pick up the message from the radio, when we don't have the correct signal. Until we can get clear of some of that static in our own minds, we are going to have difficulty with telepathy. For the noise, a human brain churns out is far worse than even that from the most battered old car. He's saying it is worse than an old car, which is like makes a lot of noise. So he says, we must be quite sure of the obstacles in our path, because until we know the obstacles, we cannot overcome them. So let us consider it from a different angle. It is fairly easy matter to telephone from one continent to another if there is a suitable cable laid beneath the ocean. But if the transatlantic telepathic line from England to New York or to another place to England, in a case is in point, he's saying that if the lines are not clear, its signal is going to be very disturbed. The speech is not, it won't be. So speech was frequently garbled beyond recognition. Speech was chopped up. So speech by radio, telephone was a matter of hit or miss. And we personally find telepathy to be far, far easier to use than a radio telephone. So he says, you may wonder why we keep on writing about radio and electronics and electricity. The answer is because the brain and the body generate electricity. That he mentioned before. The brain and all the radio program of the human, the brain and all the muscles send out pulsing electrons, which are in fact the radio program of the human body. So he says, always, the brain sends the signal to the muscles and nerves to function. And that is how the human body, the brain generates electricity, and it runs like a electric machine. In fact, the radio program, it is the radio program, the brain of the body, human body. Much of the behavior of the human body and much of the phenomena of clairvoyance, telepathy, psychometry, and all the rest of it can be so easily understood by reference to the science of radio and electronics. That's why he's saying, comparing all this to, the old radio and the electronics. So he says, you would not expect to have an expensive television set and bang it about. You would not expect to have an expensive watch and keep banging against the wall if it doesn't work. We have the most expensive receivers of all our brains. So he says, that's how, our brains are the most important part. And if we are going to use the receiver to the best effect, we must protect it from the shock. That's what here the shock is. If we don't do meditation, if we are involved, especially in a fast-paced environment, and our mind is involved in fast-paced chattering. inside chattering and also outside, so many sounds always, it comes back and forth. That's what he's saying. We must protect it from the shock. If we are going to let ourselves become agitated or frustrated, then we are going to generate a type of wave within us which will inhibit reception of waves without. So if we don't do anything, he says it completely, blocks the reception of the waves. In telepathy, we had to keep as calm as possible. Otherwise, we are going to be wasting our time in making any attempt, whatever, at receiving the thoughts of others. So that's how he's saying it's very important to keep our mind very calm, it seems. We have to keep as calm as possible. Otherwise, we are going to be wasting our time in making any attempt, whatever, at receiving the thoughts of others. If we want to receive the thought of others, that's why people who meditate more and more, those ascended masters only, they can connect to the other ascended masters, because they are at higher vibrations and they can sync, and they block the low frequency, and that is how they can receive. Whatever we think, we generate electricity. If we think calmly and without any strong emotion, then our brain electricity will follow a fairly smooth frequency without high peaks and without low valleys. If we have a high peak, it means that something is interrupting the even tenor of our thoughts. So that means, we always have high peaks and low valleys. He says always you have to watch about these high peaks. So those are very disturbing. So we must be sure that there are no excessive voltage generated and nothing which could cause alarm and despondency. We must at all times cultivate inner composure, cultivate a tranquil manner. So he says an example, suppose if we are washing clothes and suddenly we get a phone call, if we run to get the phone call or calling bell, then you get disturbed, leaving a thing or either cooking. So then, you are not concentrating on one thing. Your mind is going in different waves. So so that is why he says, don't do, like that. They do not help us at all when we leave this world, all these mundane things. But all these things are very mundane. They do not help us at all when we leave this world. When we terminate our stay upon earth, it will not matter greatly. So he says all these mundane things which we give more importance, they don't matter once we leave this earth. If at all, whether we have dealt with the greater supermarkets or with the little man in the corner store, those things, they don't matter. We cannot take a single penny away with us to the next life, but we can take away all the knowledge that we have gained. So that's what he's saying. Don't, put too much attention on unnecessary mundane things. So he says, earth is the essence of all that. We learn upon earth is that which makes us what we are going to be in the next life, that we know. Therefore, let us concentrate on knowledge. And here he says, people dash out. They have no time for the serious things of life. They are chasing the things that do not matter. The only things that matter are the things we learn. We take away with us all the knowledge that we acquire during our stay on earth. We leave behind us, if we have any, money and possessions for someone else to squander. So that's what, he says, if we gather any money or property, we just leave behind to somebody. We take only the knowledge what we have gained in this life to other astral world. He says one of the easiest ways of acquiring tranquility is by breathing in a regular pattern. So he says, by breathing, how we get the tranquility. Most people, unfortunately, breathe in a manner which could be termed suck blow. They pant along, really starving the brain of oxygen. That means you are, in a hurry, worry, you breathe very fast. People seem to think that air is rationed. They have to gulp it in, and puff it out. They seem to think the air they take is hot or something, for no sooner that they are anxious to get rid of it and get the next load. So that is how, he's saying basically they're not taking their time to breathe. We should learn to breathe slowly and deeply. We should make sure that all the stale air is removed from our lungs. If we breathe with only the top of our lungs, that air which is at the bottom becomes more and more stale. The better our air supply is, the better our brain power will be. For we cannot live without oxygen, and the brain is the first thing to be starved of oxygen. If the brain is deprived of minimum amount of oxygen, we feel very tired and sleepy. We become very slow in our motion, and we find it very difficult to think. So that's why he says sometimes we find that we also get a bad headache. So then we go out to get a fresh air, which cures the headache. It also provides that one needs plenty of oxygen. That is why he's saying how our lungs are connected to our brain also. So a regular breathing pattern soothes ruffled emotions. If you are feeling thoroughly bad-tempered, out of sorts, and really would like to do violence to someone, take a deep breath instead. The deepest breath you can manage, and hold it for a few seconds. Then let it out slowly over a few seconds. Do that few times, and you will find that you calm down more quickly than you thought possible. That is what, always, even in our meditations we do. Slowly we take breath and hold it for a few seconds and release it slowly. And that is how, that is what in the next para he's explaining how to breathe correctly. So he says, draw in the breath slowly, steadily, and think that you are inhaling life and vitality itself. And compress your chest and try to expel as much air as you possibly can. Force your lungs in so that if you wish, your tongue is hanging out. That much he's saying you have to force your stomach and lungs. Like I understand, push your stomach. You had to take out completely. You are inhaling life and vitality. Think that you are inhaling life and vitality, and compress your chest and try to expel first as much air as you can. And then over some 10 seconds of time, completely fill your lungs. Then at that point, he says, completely take the air in and fill your lungs completely for 10 seconds. Throw out your chest. Take in as much air as you can, and then cram in a little more. When you have got in as much air as you possibly can, hold it for 5 seconds. And after 5 seconds, slowly let out the air. Slowly, that you take 7 seconds to get rid of the air within you. Basically, what he's saying, inhale completely for 10 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and slowly release for 7 seconds. That's what, he's explaining. Exhale completely. Force your muscles inward to squeeze out as much air as you can. Then start all over again. It might be a good idea if you do this half a dozen times. and you will find that your frustrations and your bad mood has gone. You will feel better inside too. So you will find you are beginning to get inner composure. So this is the breathing technique he is explaining to get when you are tensed up, or to get your composure. So he says there are shocking number of frustrations and irritations in everybody's life. Especially here he says people who live in the cities, they are more frustrated than people who live in the small towns or countryside. Because you come across that fast-paced life in city, and then your day-to-day life is you had to do so many things. You had to drive, so on the traffic, on the road with so much traffic. So all this makes you irritable. So that's why he says people who live in countryside, they are much more relaxed. So that's how he's comparing. And then says that's the reason he says people who live in the cities, they get more acidic problem and gastric ulcers. All this, that leads to gastric ulcer, he's saying, and also nervous breakdown. So he says whenever you get frustrated, whenever you think that you are going to be submerged in your troubles and your difficulties, think about this. Think, will any of these matters, any of these worries be important in 50 or 100 years? That's what he's saying, if you have any problems. So he's saying everything conspires to make us build up unnatural brain waves. It conspires to make strange voltages generate within our brain cells. Normally, when one thinks there is a fairly rhythmical pattern of brain waves, the doctors can chart with special instruments. If the brain waves follow a certain pattern, we are stated to have some mental affliction. So he says people who are very, with more anxiety or depression problems, they probably have some different pattern of brain waves. And that is how how their brain is generating so much voltage. That's what he's saying. When a person has a mental sickness, he has a different pattern. So the brain waves, to see how they diverge from the normal pattern. So here he says in the Far East there are various methods used by medical priests whereby the distressed person who has a mental affliction can be assisted in restoring his brain waves to normalcy. I don't know what they do, but they say there are medical priests, it seems, who can cure. So he says about when he talks about a woman who has after menopause or hysterectomy, they go through a lot of hormonal changes which causes brain wave imbalance. So that is also, he says, in that case, he says the meditation and calming the mind and breathing techniques will help instead of the medication. That's what he's saying. And here he says the more good you can do to others, the more you can gain to yourself. It is esoteric law, that is spiritual law, that you cannot receive until you are willing to give first. If you give, be it service or money, be it a service or money or love, then in your turn, you will get service or money or love. And no matter what you give, no matter what you receive, everything has to be paid for in time. If you receive kindness, you have to give kindness. So that is what he's saying. If you donate money, eventually you will get more money. Whatever you can do, try to help others. Be sure to keep yourself calm. Be sure to let yourself become tranquil. Let yourself realize that all these petty restrictions, all these interruptions when we are trying to think or trying to do something, will not matter in few years. They are pinpricks, petty irritations, and they should be rejected. And and they are annoying, and they are nothing. They are annoying to us, and nothing more. He's saying in future they don't matter, but unnecessarily we give more importance and we worry. Inner composure, peace, and tranquility are there for you if you will accept them. They are there. All you have to do is to breathe so that your brain gets the maximum oxygen, and think all these silly little irritations will not matter in half a century time. So that's what he's saying. Again, the breathing is very important, So most of the great worries simply do not happen. We have something threatening us. We fear that something unpleasant is about to occur. We work ourselves up into a frenzy fright. So that's what, unnecessarily we put our heads, and think, which doesn't matter in the long run. We have got a real mixture of adrenaline within us, all boiled up, ready to galvanize us into action. Many of the world's famous people have said that their major worries never happened, but they still worried and then found out that they had been wasting time. If you are troubled, you are not tranquil. If you are agitated, you cannot have inner composure. And instead of being able to receive a telepathic message, you are radiating and broadcasting a dire message of utter chaos, of frustration, which not only merely blanks out your own reception of telepathic messages, but blanks out reception quite a distance around you. And that's what he's saying. If you are, in an irritating mood, he's saying it not only distorts you, but also it distorts your surrounding. So for your own sake and for the sake of others, practice equanimity. Keep calm. Remember again that all these minor irritations are minor, nothing more. They are sent to try you. So here he says, practice composure, practice seeing your difficulties in the correct perspective. It may be annoying to find that you cannot go to the movies tonight, particularly as it may be the last night that film is shown. But it is not of earth-shaking importance after all. It is of importance that you learn how you progress, because the more you learn now, the more you take away with you to the next life. And the more learning you take away to the next life, the less the number of times you had to come back to this earth to finish your chores. We suggest that, he's saying, lie down, like how to relax. Let yourself relax, lie down and shuffle about a bit so that no muscle, no part of you is under tension. Lightly clasp your hands together and breathe deeply and regularly. As you breathe, think in rhythm with the breathing, peace, peace, peace. So he's saying, think peace in 3 times. If you will practice that, you will find that a truly divine sense of peace and tranquility will steal over you. Once again, push out any intruding thoughts of discord, concentrating your thoughts upon peace, upon quietness, and upon ease. If you think peace, you will have peace. If you think ease, you will have ease. We will say to you, by way of concluding this lesson, if people would devote 10 minutes out of every 24 hours, the doctors would go bankrupt, that they would not have nearly so much illness to deal with. So this is the end of the chapter 20. I just covered only the important points because a lot of things, he repeated, and also some of the things, they don't make sense in this time, in 2020, 21. So the next one, literally, he talks about how to work for telepathy, clairvoyance, and psychometry. So basically, until we relax, until our mind is calm, so he's saying we cannot receive messages. So that's why, we have to do more and more meditation and calm our mind. So any questions?
Yeah, Bala Garu. Namaskaram, Mama.
Namaskaram.
I just was thinking because I read somewhere or I heard in some other lectures saying that the breathing in, breathing out would be longer than breathing in.
Yeah, that is true.
Here he's suggesting the other way around, right? He's saying 10 seconds of breathing in, 7 seconds of breathing out, holding only for 5 seconds. Because I remember, it is the other way around, basically, because breathe in and then breathe out should be longer and slow and steady.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
Would you throw some opinion upon it? Or anybody else who knows about it?
Best thing is to release the air very slowly. That is the most important. Okay, and also, you need not do for 10 seconds, even though he said 10 seconds. You can only do for 5 seconds. Only important thing is you have to fill your lungs. That is the most important.
Yeah.
Fill your lungs as much time as you take, and then hold on for 5 seconds. And
or longer if possible.
Or longer,
right?
But if you can.
Or longer if possible, yeah.
If possible.
Because I think your capacity to hold gradually increases with more and more practice.
Yeah, that's right.
So if necessary, you can hold as much as a minute sometimes. But because people, underwater swimmers, they hold it for several minutes.
Yep. Yeah, because they go through so much training and then their practice. Right. Yeah, so, but main thing is that rhythm important, and also we have to empty out and take it, according to him, he says, otherwise there is always the whatever left out air in the lungs is stale. You have to empty out, he's saying.
So that I think is common anyway, because you have to exhale as much as possible, and also a stage comes where you need to pull in your own stomach in, so that that would apply some pressure on the lungs to empty whatever balance is there.
Yes.
Okay, Avinash wants to add.
Actually, the biological reason for this is it calms down our nervous system, and it also cleans the unwanted thoughts in our mind.
That is
breathing exercise, and also
that is when you put your mind onto your breath.
And actually the breathing composure helps us to calm down our nervous system, and also near our heart area we have ventral vagus nervous system that relates to our central nervous system, parasympathetic one. When we hug a person also, it calms down our nervous system. These are the two ways, breathing and hug. These two would calms down our nervous system and fills us with peace. And Bala ma'am, actually, I have one doubt, ma'am. The doubt is actually as per my knowledge, there is no past, no future.
Everything that is at soul level. Yeah. See, that is at soul level. Yeah, if you talk at the soul level, everything is simultaneous.
Yes. And here he is saying that what we are doing, I mean, yeah, I
No,
agree.
see, we are talking in terms of physical body.
Hmm.
So in that case, we go through, we learn in this, in this
We
birth,
carry forward
whatever we
lessons
learn,
and knowledge.
that knowledge, it goes
And
forward.
actually, I don't know whether this is the right time or not. During one of my meditation sessions, I find that I am working on the same project which I am working. I mean, in another life, in another dimension, I am working on the same project which I am working in the present life also. That means,
Yeah, probably. See, if you see,
yeah.
because if you have that vibration, in higher vibrations, probably you can connect to that dimension. That is the reason you can connect to that dimension.
And ma'am, actually, the reason why, so I mean, the masters connected high frequency is when we both are vibrating at the same vibration, we
Syncing,
could sync and we could relate and we could align.
That's why in the next chapter, he mentions identical twins, they can transmit and they can talk to each other mentally, telepathically.
Telepathy.
Yeah, even though they are not in the same country, even though one in North America and South America, he says that identical twins can do that because they are coming from the same egg. They have the same transmission signals.
True, ma'am.
And also,
Bala, I think there is a Russians who have conducted this experiment. They took fish links antaremo kada pillalnu, small fish, basically 6 of them, and dropped in different oceans with some kind of a chip in them, so they could monitor them, right? But then when they killed one of the fish links, actually somewhere else, the mother recorded the vibrations. So it is happening even animals or fish. That because killing would send a distress signals, and those signals have been recorded in mother's brain. They were monitoring on a lab. So I think when that can happen to the animals, it is happening to the humans. Only thing is we have no sensitivity or tuning to those particular vibrations.
That's why he compares to this radio, old radio with lot of static signals. Because when we are tuning, you have to correctly tune into that particular station. Otherwise, you get a lot of disturbances.
Yeah, right.
The same way, unless we calm our mind, we cannot receive it.
Yeah, to the frequency levels that are required for reception.
Yeah.
Also, Avinash, you brought up a topic called simultaneous. Can you define when you say simultaneous? Is it to the second? Is it to the microsecond? It depends upon which world you are living, right? When you talk about 1 second to the human life, and when you talk about 1 second to the God's life, say, we all know that, right? From at least Vedas or Puranas that we know, the time scales are different.
Actually, there is no difference at the soul level, uncle.
Why do you say so? The soul looks at Janma as one day. Let us say.
Soul level, there is no time and space.
No, I agree. What I'm talking about is that soul comes with a plan for 100 lives. Each life is 1 page. Whereas
all happen
humans
at
are
the same
thinking
time.
about 100 years. So when you say simultaneous, it may not exactly be the same thing for a soul because the time scales are entirely different. It's not even looking at Earth's rotation, and you're talking about 365 days in a year to go revolution around the sun. As for the soul level, the speed of the Earth or going rotation or revolution or revolving around the sun, it doesn't matter, because their level of looking at things are only in terms of one page or 1 second or 1 minute, whatever, one lifetime. That's the reason when we can reason out saying that, yeah, soul doesn't have any timing in terms of what we are calling time.
And
They
not only the
think about number of janmas.
No,
Actually, my point is the entire existence from starting point to end happens at the same time. And it's like మనం కన్ను తెరిచి మూసే రెప్పపాతి కాలం అని చెప్తాం కదా. సేమ్ ఎగ్జిస్టెన్స్ కూడా
రెప్పపాట, దేవుడి రెప్పపాట. రెప్పపాటు అన్నప్పుడు
ఎగ్జిస్టెన్స్ అంకుల్, ఇట్ కనెక్ట్స్ టు
ఎవల్యూషన్ లేదనా మీరు చెప్పేది?
అవును,
ఎవల్యూషన్ లేదు అనా మీరు చెప్పేది?
నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే ఎవల్యూషన్ యొక్క స్టార్టింగ్ పాయింట్, ఎండ్ పాయింట్ అండ్ ఎగ్జిస్టెన్స్ హ్యాపెన్స్ అట్ ది సేమ్ టైం. ఐ మీన్ అది మొత్తం కూడా ఒక సెకండ్ లో జరిగింది. బట్ మనం దాని లోపలికి డెప్త్గా వెళ్తే అప్పుడు మనకి ఒక్కొక్క లైఫ్ ఒకదాని తర్వాత ఒకటి నడుస్తున్నట్టు అనిపిస్తుంది. అది జస్ట్ మనం భూమి మీద ఉన్నాం కాబట్టి మనం ఇల్యూజన్ లో ఉన్నాం.
Avinash, but all
okay,
this I know.
Guys, let's stick to the subject.
Yeah,
all these are assumptions, and all these are maybe
let us not go into that, because we are on earth level. We are in this book, he's talking about all physical earth level lessons.
Right.
So let's focus on what we can do and what we have to do. And Divya has suggested that we should do the breathing exercise that the author has said. So let's, as we have finished the chapter early, so let's do that. Let's do that for 5 minutes and see what, like we know different kinds of breathing exercises. And what he has suggested us to do is we will give it a try. And then we'll share that experience.
I missed that part because there was some kind of a problem from my side. But can you just repeat what kind of a breathing exercise it was?
Sure.
Oh, he says empty the lungs completely by compressing your stomach and lung, chest portion. And then take as much air as you can, fill your lungs completely. He says 10 seconds, but it is up to us, like whatever time, completely fill your lungs, hold on to like 5 seconds, and then release it slowly. According to him, 7 seconds. But main point is release it slowly.
Okay, sure.
So maybe I'll give the instructions.
Yes, please.
I'll read what the author has said. Or if you want to read Bala Garu, please do that. That way.
Okay, sure. Okay. Compress your chest and try to expel as much air as you can, and force your lungs. Then over some 10 seconds of time, completely fill your lungs. Throughout your chest, take in as much air as you can, and then cram in a little more. That means take as much as you can. When you have got in as much air as you possibly can, hold it for 5 seconds. And after that 5 seconds, slowly let out the air. Slowly, that you take 7 seconds to get rid of the air within you. Exhale completely. Force your muscles inward to squeeze, squeeze out as much air as you can and then start over again. So that's what, according to him, take as much as you can and then hold for 5 seconds and release it 7 seconds, in 7 seconds.
So as Bala Garu was reading, I just did that exercise. So when he said compress your chest, like you're compressing and getting all the air into your body. So, and that is one thing. And then like when you're getting out the air from your nostrils, you are essentially like pulling your stomach in and then getting it out. So all the air that is not out, we are exiting it out. So I'll just give the count, or if you want to give the count, please do that, Bala Garu.
No, Madhvi, give. I think you should give the count.
Sure. So you can all go on mute, so that way only the counts can be heard. So breathe in your air, breathe in slowly at the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold your breath for 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5. Slowly exhale for the count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take a pause and then breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take a pause. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take a pause. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First thing, was it doable with the counts? That many counts? You can just give thumbs up, or if you don't give thumbs up, then we know that you couldn't.
Yeah, we can do it. Actually, we can hold it for longer also. But yeah, initially,
Okay.
I think it's fine.
At this
Yeah,
time,
the same thing.
can
Experience.
we hold longer for 7 seconds or 8 seconds?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Last one more time. We'll do 5 times. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take a pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, hold, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This time I'll give more counts of exhale. Try to exhale as slowly as you can. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the last time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys. We did breathing exercise.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Madhuri.
So I would want everybody to share your experience with 2 lines or 3 lines, not more than that. Before and after, you can tell. And the second one is we did count of 10, 5, and 7 the first time. And the second time we did count of 10, 8, and 10. So if you can just tell if you felt any difference. If you felt, then you can say yes. If not, you can just say, I didn't feel any difference. Just to be more interactive. Come on. Hello? Anybody there?
Oh, chatting, like I was trying to write.
Try and చెప్పండి కదా.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to write down?
No, tell, speak up.
Okay. So for me, breathing in was like I couldn't complete the count. I couldn't take until the 10th count. Breathing in, I was able to hold for longer. Like say the first step of 10, 5, 7, I could held for 5 seconds for sure. And even more, I could also do 8 seconds of holding. But the 10 and 7, I couldn't make the count I was doing before. Like by 7 in breaths, I could just stop there and hold. And exhaling also, I stopped by 5 count. So I couldn't complete the 7th count of exhale or the 10th count of exhale.
For me, only the in-breath, inhale is 10. 10 was kind of too much, like going. But holding and taking, exhaling is fine. But generally, that's why here he said the other way, normally taking in is a little shorter than the releasing out.
I'll tell you guys, we'll listen to the other one, but others, and then we will decide.
Yeah.
How about others? Yeah, Archana?
Hi, Madhvi. Yes. For me personally, it was actually I dozed off, I guess. But anyways, the 10th was, especially during the inhale, the 10th was kind of difficult for me, the 10th count. And staying and exhaling, I think I could pull till even 15 count, 14 or 15 exhaling part. So the only issue was inhaling the 10th count, I guess. So all in all, so I think holding, yes, holding I can do as much as I can.
Yeah.
Maybe I usually sometimes try that, those 40-second things, So
yeah,
holding
Deepak
is not
Chopra says 30, 35.
Yeah. And exhaling was pretty much easy, but inhaling was really the 10th one. 7 was good, but 10th was like really.
Yeah, inhaling 10 is too much, I think. I felt.
Right.
Yeah,
but it was very calming, of course.
I know. When I was giving the count, I kind of dozed off. I said,
I can hear you, but I don't want to talk. I can hear you completely. You are asking people to come out with their opinion, and you're asking is anyone there. I can hear everything, but I just didn't want to come and talk.
In the middle, I just dozed off. I think I was like, okay, let me just get up.
It's kind of hypnotizing.
Yeah.
That's why I had a cup of coffee before, because I was feeling like that before also. Like I got up a little early today.
How about Manju, Sailaja, and Harita, and uncle and guest?
For me too, Madhavi, the inhaling for so long is not possible. For exhaling, it is okay, because I'm used to do that. This long breaths I use whenever I feel tired or something is there. I used to do 2 or 3 times like this. So inhaling only at the count of 10, it was difficult for me, like others. Yeah. I think 2 or 3 have mentioned the same thing, I think. Okay.
Yeah, I express the same opinion. I've been doing some pranayama lately, but still inhaling is little harder. The calming effect is there. So yeah, before meditation, I've been doing the breaths these days. So it has helped to calming. It's helping me to calm down. So I share the same opinion as others. The calming effect and the hard on the inhalation. Yes.
I feel the same too. I could only breathe for 5, and I could hold till 5 plus 7, and exhale was okay too. And I'm doing Shreyan's Daga's breathing, and I thought I would be able to do it, but no. That's the reason I think I yawn a lot, because I'm not probably inhaling as much as I should.
Yeah, he's shamanic breath or something. Shamanic. A past breath he does in one session.
Yeah, but he says that, you know, yeah, he says your stomach should be coming out and filling up. So
yeah.
I've been
It's called shamanic.
That. Yeah, shamanic, right.
See, but I think here
I can't wait to finish this.
Here, what I'll just ask you guys to do one thing. Try one more time. I'm sure you focus on your chest, like try to compress your chest and then breathe in. So just put your hand on your chest if you feel that, you know, like, so that way you are attentive on your chest, and then try to breathe in. You can do it. It's like focus on your chest and then like you are breathing through your chest. And when you're breathing, then compress your chest if you can't breathe anymore. You will do it. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Was it the same, or you felt that you could do little longer than before?
I felt that the second exercise was easier than the first one. I don't know, maybe while inhaling, I already took some. But yeah, putting the hand on the chest, it was little easier, I felt.
Compressing your chest at the same time.
Yeah.
When you can't breathe in anymore, you compress your chest, then you can breathe in more. So, yeah. Well, maybe it's good, at least it's a little better than before, that you could breathe in a little more oxygen. That way we can be a little more active.
I would like to add a tip over here, because when we do pranayama, or when, you know, I've like from different masters, instructors. So they say once you are trying to inhale now, so first you exit completely, empty your lungs, empty your stomach, and then you start inhaling. That helps you to inhale more air, as well as it helps to expand the lung capacity. So the key here is, you know, exhaling completely before you start inhaling, especially when this kind of exercises comes into picture. So yes, I think that can be handy.
Yeah, to be more to go more in depth of what you said, Darshana, is you have to exhale through your left nostril all the time. So that is the best way to do. That is how the
Chandranad.
Yeah, Anulom Vilom. I mean, there are a lot of breathing techniques and exercises that we do. I mean, it is like amazing. You know, like right now, you could not breathe in more, right? Like, but if you can lift your head up all the way up and then breathe in, you can breathe in so much more than what you could do. Like when you keep on extending your, like if you're not able to breathe in anymore, if you start extending your neck and then breathe in, you can breathe in quite a bit. So, a lot of.
Do you know the reason, Madhvi, for that?
It's, I guess, because you're extending your.
I'll tell you, if I can tell. So when you're looking up, what is happening is that your chest is expanding. So your lung is kind of spreading out, and once it's spreading out, it can have more,
air into your chest.
Yes,
it can hold more air.
Yes, it can intake also, and it can hold also. So probably that could be the reason.
Yeah, I think that's the analytical mind reason.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm too much into this, so my mind just pushed to tell.
And at the same time, when you're exhaling also, like when you get your head down, you can exhale for a longer time, like chin to the chest. So you can exhale for longer time. Yeah, I think we are all into the minute details of breathing miracles that we can do.
Yeah, and also at the end of the chapter, he says, think of peace, quietening and ease.
Mm-hmm.
Quietness and ease.
I think whenever you feel like you are kind of stressed out or anything, like it's a simple thing, right?